A backpacking trip turned nightmare. That's how one British father describes his daughter's trip to the U.S. after a visa mix-up at the border. Good evening and thanks for joining us for the news at 10. I'm David Rose.
And I'm Sabir Rayford. That mix-up has landed the young woman in an ICE detention facility in Tacoma, where she still is tonight. Fox 13 reporter Nia Wong has been following this case. She's joining us from the newsroom with what we know so far.
Paul Burke says his daughter's current conditions at the Northwest Detention Center are deeply concerning, and she's been there for nearly 2 weeks. As they reach out to British leaders, they are asking for help in the States to help bring Becky back home.
A desperate father in the United Kingdom opened this Facebook post on March 8th, saying his daughter, Becky Burke, had been on a 4-month backpacking trip when she was detained by ICE on February 26th. The cartoonist had been sharing her adventures on her Instagram account, where she stayed in Portland, then Seattle, before heading up to the Canadian border. Paul Burke says she was denied entry into Canada due to an incorrect visa, and when she tried to go back to the U.S., was refused re-entry and classified as a, quote, illegal alien.
This is very heavy-handed.
Abtin Bahadur is an attorney for Ryan Swanson in Cleveland in Seattle.
The immigration laws are not something to ask forgiveness for later.
Burke's father says she was on a tourist visa, and her social media account shows she participated in Workaway, a cultural exchange, according to the Workaway website, that expects participants to help around 5 hours per day in exchange for food and accommodation. ICE confirmed Burke is still being held at the Northwest ICE Processing Center related to the violation of the terms and conditions of her admission. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says it can't discuss specific cases, only saying on background, quote, individuals who travel to the U.S. under the visa waiver program are not allowed to work for any type of compensation. That includes work in exchange for room and board. While Bahadur says it is the responsibility of the traveler to know the rules.
The agency could definitely show more compassion, more grace.
Bahadur has also been the liaison with Customs and Border Protection for Washington State with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. In his 5 years of holding the position, he believes that CBP officers could have made another choice.
If the CBP officer, the Customs and Border Protection officer at the border, had wanted to, they could have probably arranged it to say, you know what, do you have the financial ability to buy a plane ticket home? Okay, there's tons of flights every day out of SeaTac to Europe. They could have just placed her on that plane, let her go home, and let her voluntarily depart from the United States.
Fox 13 has reached out to Paul Burke and is waiting to hear back on what's next for his daughter. ICE has not said when they plan to release Becky Burke. Live in the newsroom, Nia Wong, Fox 13 News.